Video games, an art unlike any other. It's an art form that involves player expression, and the one experiencing it is what makes the work complete. And is more powerful and more involved than lesser forms of art. However, games are not safe. Like movies and music, artistic expression is always put behind business, the killer of expression. Many making games to make money, and nothing else. This results in works of art with no artistic value and puts the medium back a step.
And that's what I'll be talking about in this season of Critical Geeking. Games in the wrong hands. Welcome to RandomWareStudios, I am your host, Butternets, and today we will look at the intent behind this little game known as Action 52. This party's getting crazy. Let's rock.
Episode 1. The development of Action 52. It's even worse than you think? For you retro gamers out there, or people like me who watch the AVGN, you probably already know about this little turd.
And see, that's where the problem of this video comes in, because you know, the internet's overflooded with people screaming at bad NES games, or SNES games, or Genesis games, or whatever, just retro games in general, and it makes it hard for someone like me, a person who wasn't alive at that time, to add something new to the conversation. But thankfully, this is an exception, because I have something new to add. I know. Hold your surprise. But I don't want to look at it at a face value. I want to look at it knowing the intent of this game and its development. So, with that, we're going to have to do a story time. Come with me, kids! Alright kids, it's story time. Now let me tell you why Action 52 is not as bad as you think. It's even worse. So once upon... Quiet. Once upon a time... Kids, it's story time, kids. It's okay. Once upon a time... Will you be quiet now? Good. Alright.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Vince Perry who was a businessman who was sick and tired of having to pay so much for just one NES game.
I mean, fair enough, you know, $50 in that time was like $100 today in 2017. So, buying a game in that time must have been a really big deal if you adjust to inflation. And trust me, that's just the least of our problems.
That was until he found a bootleg cartridge from Taiwan with 40 games in one. And after reacting to it like Etika watching a Super Smash Bros. Character reveal, he decided he'd make a legal version of the cartridge. But this time, instead of 40 games on it, it had 52 games in it. The only problem is that he did not know how to program anything for the life of him. And so he hired a bunch of programmers who knew how to program stuff on the Amiga, and then they started work on Action 52. The kicker though? Vince Perry wanted it done in 3 months. Yes, he wanted a game with 52 games on it done in 3 months, which that would take more months to make one amazing NES game. And then something happened. Vince Perry saw the Ninja Turtles and how it was basically almost as hyped as, you know, Pokemon Go was in this age. So he decided that he'd make his own version of the TMNT called the Cheetah Man, and that was made to act. Game number 52, and it was to have toys, merchandise, and TV shows.
So, abracadabra, the game was released, and finished in big air quotes, and was released for $199, almost the price of a Super Nintendo, even more expensive than the NES that day. It came out, it sucked, the end, now go home and die, kids.
So let's find out why this game's development history and reading about it is hard to listen to without barfing. The first problem is Vince Perry himself. Besides being overly impressed by a bootleg game that just has a bunch of games on it, does he really think that 52 mediocre or just plain bad games is way better than just one good game that you can get a lot more out of? This guy has the logic of quantity over quality, and that's basically what Action 52 is. Quantity of games over the quality of games. And by quantity over quality, I meant it's quantity, but none of them work. The other problem is the fact that he thought he could finish all this in 52 months with these very noob programmers. Here's the thing though, that it would take more months than that to make one incredibly polished, incredibly amazing NES game. And he thinks he can make 52 of those in just 3 months? 52 games, that's more than what many indie developers can make in their entire lifetime. And this is why I don't decide a release date on my games. Shut up. But let's not beat around the bush anymore. Let's get to the real reason why this game was made, so Vince Perry can get rich quick. I mean, he thought he could make an entire franchise off of this. He thought he can make the G.I. Man as popular as the Ninja Turtles, because, you know, Ninja Turtles rake in all that cash. And he was going to make Action 52 itself an entire franchise with a Super Nintendo version and a Sega Genesis version. And think about it, if this actually got in stores and it actually sold well, then this means that this will tell the game industry, yes, this is good and we want more of it. So then we have another video game crash on our hands with this, with games that go for quantity over quality. If you still don't know what that means that basically all games on the market will be like those Chinese bootleg games with a bunch of Famicom games in one cartridge. Thankfully, Nintendo, at that time, were sane, and they rejected the game, and Vince Perry had to sell elsewhere as an unofficial game for $199. $199. That's almost as expensive as Super Nintendo at that time. And now but thankfully, since it's so expensive and it wasn't sold in major retailers, no one bought it, and now it only exists as either a game design lesson or just so that retro gamers can complete a collection of all the games in their shelf that they probably won't play just so they can brag about their collection. That is, until Vince Perry actually did make a Sega Genesis version. He did not make a Super Nintendo version, but he did make a Sega Genesis version. And I can tell you right now, that one is still awful, but it's way better than the NES version, because, you know, some of the games actually, you know, work. But it didn't matter, because the NES version was so poorly received and so bad, sold so poorly, that it made the Super Nintendo, no one played the Sega Genesis version, and it too fell deeper into obscurity. And so the company then went bankrupt, and then, you know, dead.
And that's what the season of Critical Geeking is all about. And believe it or not, making games like Action 52, you know, making games just for money and nothing else, is even easier. Oh man, the community's gonna kill me, aren't they?
Hey, you filthy millennials! If you liked the video, thanks! If you want to subscribe, do! If you want to like, do! If you want to dislike, do! If you want to comment on how you want to murder my insides, please do! Bye!
computer. We're putting that in the bloopers. Handwriting, okay. You know what? Oh wait, hold on. Outside view. Okay, that was my cursive. That's my handwriting because it's like an old book from like middle school, I think, and that's all my drawings. Like, wow. Yeah, that's. I just want to say that.